great to be here. It's my very great privilege and honour to be here. The launch of a book is a very exciting and momentous and a little bit of a scary thing as well. My book was launched 4 years ago today. I'm not crazy, I'm just a little unwell. A lot of water's flown under the bridge since then. And in many ways, this book launch tonight had its genesis then. About, I think, 10 days or so after the launch of my book, the first print run sold out. And then about 3 weeks later, the webmaster who runs the Not Crazy website for the book rang me and said, do you realise how much traffic has been on this website since the release of the book? And I'd had some idea, and he said, it's just been staggering. You must do something to harness this. Have you ever thought about setting up an online forum to kind of harness this for the good of others who might suffer this terrible illness? And I thought, well, do I need something else to make me more busy in an acceleratingly busy life? But I thought for what he was proposing, it would be a really worthwhile thing for what seemed like, with the response to the book, many. And from that simple phone call, the worldwide community of the Not Crazies, as we're known, began. And that has been running 3 weeks short of 4 years from today. Hundreds of people are on it. There are numbers of members of the Not Crazy Forum here, some of whom I recognise, others who I probably don't, because it's an entirely anonymous thing. It's a funny sort of new concept in community. I've often thought this and have spoken to many about the interesting form of community that this represents. There are hundreds of people from all over the world, and yet no one needs to necessarily reveal who they are or what they do or even where they live. And yet it's a very kind of special place where there's so much, I think more than anything else, acceptance, and then followed closely by wisdom and experience suffering this terrible illness. And lots of people are swapping experiences and stories and insights and frustrations and anger and happiness and yes, even laughs in the middle of this terrible thing. As I said in the foreword to Kirrily's book, plug for the camera, this book represents a triumph of creativity over adversity. And many of the people represented in this book would not have come together for this without coming together there. I've got to pay great tribute to Kirrily. She's up the back. Who I just got one simple message through the forum one day. I got this idea for a book, what do you think? I said, go for it. And from then on, this has been an amazing achievement and a rich and lovely kind of achievement. And we salute you, Kirrily, for your courage and for your creativity. The other thing I wanted to say is this book, you'd hope, once and for all, would dispel the notion that sufferers from chronic fatigue syndrome are malingerers or are lazy or are no-hopers or who are useless or who've copped out or freaked out from life. I would readily acknowledge for those looking on from the outside of chronic fatigue syndrome, it is a puzzling illness and it's an erratic illness and very hard to get. All I'd say to that is, if you think that's what it looks like from the outside, you can just begin to imagine what it looks like from the inside of this debilitating scourge. But this book, I'd love to kind of seal the deal to say that there are not, the people in this book are not crazy. This is not a book of crazy people. Their stories and their contributions, their beautiful artwork, their poetry, their photographs, that you'll see in this book are of people who are battling on, making the most of what they have. And so often, if you read anything about this forum, they're truly inspirational and truly heroic, especially and including Kirrily. They are an inspiration, and as I've said in the foreword to the book, they are shining light, often in the midst of a dark place. So if this book, as I'm absolutely sure it will, can tell another story of this terrible illness and go on to show inspiration and that light and that hope that it does, this is a very special night indeed, and it's my great pleasure to be here. Thanks for listening.